Hi everyone, happy Monday morning. I am Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are back for another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about all things U.S. immigration. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the final rule from CBP, Customs and Border Protection. It will be effective December 26th of this year, so end of the month, and it allows for enhanced biometrics. What does that really mean? So when you are coming in and out of the airport, you're coming in and out of a land border, the folks that you see are going to be CBP officers, and they are part of the whole U.S. immigration system. So under this new rule, they will be able to collect more biometrics. So they will get your picture of your face when you enter and exit the U.S. And that happens when you are at an airport, when you are at a land border, when you are at a seaport, maybe you're coming in on a vessel, and any other authorized points of exit and entrance into the U.S. It removes prior exemptions for diplomats and most Canadian visitors. So if you're a diplomat and you fall under that Canadian visitor status, you now will be subject to facial biometric collection. And it expands to sea entry and exit private aircrafts. So if you thought, so previously, if you are not seeing CBP because you were flying private, that will no longer be the case. Vehicle entry and exit, and if you are walking across the border or southern and northern border, you have pedestrian walkways that you can use. So those will also subject you to biometric collection. Now, public comments for this rule were due November 26th, so a couple of days ago. CBP will now review those comments that they received and decide if they want to make any changes to the rule. But the rule was originally published as a final rule, so it's still set to be active December 26th of this year. So just keep that in mind if you are entering and exiting the U.S., that you can have your biometrics taken as a non-U.S. citizen. We have a proposed rule that is still hanging out there on the weighted H-1B lottery. That rule favors highly skilled positions as well as positions that are paying higher in wages. Public comments for that rule were due November 24th. So again, a couple of days ago. Now someone at the agency needs to go through all those comments and needs to get together with all the folks within the agency and decide if, based on those comments that they received from the public, if they want to make any changes to that rule or keep it as is. It was published as a proposed rule, so we'll see if they want to make any changes, if they too decide to just drop the rule altogether, or if they decide to publish as is and make it final. So I'll keep you updated on that. But comments were due November 24th. So now the agency is simply going through all of those comments to see what, if any, changes they will make. I want to talk about another rule. Lots of rules, lots of changes. The EAD employment authorization document did have a 540-day extension. The agency filed a rule to get rid of that. That rule was published as an interim final rule, so that rule is currently active. We have talked about this before on our Monday morning updates, but comments are due by December 1st. So it was published as an interim final rule, which means it is active. The rule is active right now, but comments are due December 1st. So what that means is that when the agency gets the comments, they will go through those comments and decide if they want to make any changes to the rule, or if they just want to, scrap the rule altogether. So I will keep you updated on that, but it does take them a while to get through all of the comments, depending on how many comments were submitted. We've seen a we've seen a few changes to the fees. This time they are CBP fees, and they are for inflation adjustments. Some of the fees that I've seen have gone up honestly less than $1. So it's really important that you check the fees every single time you file, because these things happen. And so the fees went up, and it wasn't to a whole lot of fanfare, frankly, because it really was just for what they are saying is inflation adjustments. And so truly some of these fees went up less than $1 or maybe $10. So always want to double check your fees, but I did want to bring that to your attention. But the land border fee for the I-94 card is still at $30, basically due to rounding. So all the math that happened, it's still the same. So that's fine. If you have ever logged into the CX system to complete a DS 160 or 260, whether you're coming in as applying for an immigrant visa or a non-immigrant visa, chances are you probably found it a little glitchy. The system is glitchy, y'all. It is what it is. I don't know Department of State's plan to, roll out new software for the CX system, or to get rid of CX altogether and, bring in a different system. I have no idea what their plan is from that perspective, but the current system we know is glitchy. Every couple months we talk about this. So from September through November of this year, it has been really difficult to actually just pay the consular fees. There was some glitch that was causing the names of the individuals not to even show up. If they're not showing up, then we couldn't pay the fee. So that was brought to Department of State's attention. They now say that they have a workaround and a fix, and then it should be resolved. So we'll see. But if you've ever had to log into the CX system, you know that it is a fairly glitchy piece of software. So lots of patience, lots of reports letting Department of State know what's happening, and they try to get it fixed as quickly as possible. And the last thing I want to talk about this morning are electronic payments to USCIS. So in late October, USCIS stopped taking essentially paper payments, so checks, money orders, and in favor of digital or electronic payments, so credit cards, ACH transactions. So just make sure that you are filling out the form correctly. USCIS will not run the same form twice. If they return your application without running fees, it can take them weeks to get your full application back to you so that you can refile it. So just take care when filling out the respective form that they have. The form is on their website, whether you're paying by ACH or credit card. They're two different forms, so it's not the same form. So just make sure that you're filling those out correctly. But yeah, they've moved away from checks and money orders in paper in terms of payment. So keep that in mind if you are getting an application together. Maybe it's been a minute since you've had to file anything with USCIS. So that's what I have this Monday morning for you. I hope this has been helpful. If you've got any questions, you're welcome to reach out to us at Williams Immigration. We're happy to help you. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday and a great rest of your